pee.
It's in my mouth!
Shoot me in the face! In the face!
Nobody kills me but me!
Do it! Shoot me in the face! Face, 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 face!
I can. I really can. Actually, it's...
Thank you!
Borderlands. As a movie lover, I'm astounded something like this was made for $100 million. Well, actually, maybe not so much. And as a fan of the Borderlands video games, man, really? This movie tries to be Deadpool meets Guardians of the Galaxy if Deadpool was diluted to a PG-13 rating and the Guardians of the Galaxy had no chemistry. It's like the studio executives just gathered information about the game from Wikipedia and put it into ChatGPT and knew that the franchise name alone would give them a good payday. If only they knew. By simply just Google searching, you can see all the errors with the film began from a very messy start. Apparently, this film has been in production for over a decade and pretty much finished filming over 3 years ago. From several reshoots to changing the mature rating to PG-13 and 2 different directors working on the film. And all that effort for this. You know it's so bad when one of the writers desperately tried to remove any ties they had to the film. So what went wrong? You see, after all the abominations that are video game adaptations, this one really does encapsulate everything wrong with them. No love, care, or regard for the source material. And most importantly, a poorly hired production team. From writers with little to no talent, delivering a lackluster comedic story, arguably the most needed aspect for a Borderlands movie, to horrendously choreographed action with shaky camera work, the second most important aspect for a Borderlands movie, and a misfire of a cast who all look like they do not want to be in the film. This movie is basically Borderlands if it was nothing like Borderlands. You don't need me to tell you how bizarre and absurdly different this movie is from the source material. Story-wise, it's pretty weak and has no purpose nor redeeming quality. We follow fake Lilith as a bounty hunter who needs to find fake Tiny Tina and open a vault on fake Pandora, whilst being chased from the Atlas Corporation. Which I guess sounds pretty okay, but if you know anything about the games, lore-wise, this would make 0 sense. Pandora is not explored to its fullest and only showcases 2 creatures and 1 biome out of the abundant areas to show. Lilith isn't actually like the Lilith most fans would know, but instead she's a wannabe Harrison Ford, aged up 20 years with little charisma to her, who suddenly turns into Captain Marvel by the end because she had 1 flashback sequence. Tannis is also aged up like 50 years and a big crybaby. Krieg is a completely different character from the game, but this time with no backstory. Tiny Tina is just bad. Claptrap has always been annoying, but not to the level that Jack Black plays it. And don't even get me started on Roland, the most serious, militaristic character in the games who serves as a contrast to this bizarre world, played by a comedic actor who serves as a punching bag in the film. And the core mechanic of the games, looting and shooting, is either showcased for 2 seconds in nauseating fights or completely gets it wrong. So why make a Borderlands movie if it's going to be nothing like the games? Most video game adaptations, and with that any live action adaptation altogether, end up falling into this trap where it takes some elements from the source material to keep fans happy, but drastically changes everything else. Doom, Assassin's Creed, Super Mario Bros., Uncharted, Halo, The Witcher, and Five Nights at Freddy's. What do these all have in common besides being horrible movies and shows? They're all lazily put together cash grabs that either water downs the source material or changes everything altogether, banking on the already existing fanbase to support it. Now we can add Borderlands to the list. One way to have avoided this or to fix it was to hire competent writers first. Writers who are skilled at comedy and knowledgeable of the source material. Think One Piece's live action, or even the newer Mario Bros. Movie. They both closely follow the source material, but most importantly, had writers who both loved the franchise and collaborated closely with those who made the source material. Imagine Indiana Jones meets Mad Max. This is what the film should have been. A high-stakes mystery adventure where an unlikely team comes together to uncover clues about this ancient, mysterious vault. Now make it R-rated, because recent films have shown that they're just as successful, all the while staying true to the core story beats of the games by slowly building up to things like Firehawk Lilith. If you've unfortunately seen this movie, you already know how bad the writing is. Characters will say the most cliche things ever, like, You and what army? Or one of the main antagonists suddenly turns good at the end with no build up to it, and then dies immediately after. Ironically, it's also visually ugly, given that the source material is some of the most stylized pieces of content in the gaming industry. But even that could have been forgiven if the story was good and the actors were good. They either got the biggest paycheck and swallowed their pride to film this, or someone has blackmail on them, because that's the only way to explain everyone's awful performance. Except Marcus. He's basically the only accurate thing about this movie. But countless video game adaptations hire big name celebrities to garner attention and to draw a wide set of audiences. But ironically, it's those same celebrities who almost 9 times out of 10 give awful performances. And to put salt on the wound, the Take-Two CEO pleads with audiences to give his movie a chance, when he didn't even give the source material a chance, saying that the cast was amazing in it. Yeah, no. Studio interference almost always kills these types of movies. That's probably why it took over 10 years for this film to get made. They want the most return on investment, so they tampered with the age rating. They thought audiences would want to see big name actors, so they miscast the characters. They didn't hire passionate creatives, so they had to water down and Wikipedia the games. This is not a good movie. This is not a good video game movie. This film is a clear example of everything wrong with film adaptations.